Hello anne. Yo, evdeyim, duş aldım. Oturuyorum şimdi. Ya. o-
Kill confirmed.
Throwing grenade.
Show them how the CIA does business. We've pulled ahead.
Throwing grenade. Throwing grenade.
We're losing this fight.
Throwing frag. Stun. Throwing grenade. Throwing grenade. Throwing grenade. Throwing grenade. Stun. Throwing stun. Throwing frag. Throwing stun. Throwing stun.
Multiple hostile spy planes detected.
Sighting in on spy plane. Hostile spy plane expired. Good deal. Throwing grenade. Throwing stun.
Hostile spy plane almost overhead.
Enemy destroyed. Hostile spy plane. Enemy spy plane grounded. Frag.
Spy plane established above.
Reporting hostile contacts.
Counter spy plane assaulting.
Spy plane mission time clock 50%.
Hostile counter spy plane.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Priority tasking request received. Spy plane inbound.
Sentry turret active.
Sighting in on spy plane. Enemy spy plane grounded. Throwing stun. Throwing grenade.
plane established overhead.
Hostile spy plane. Enemy spy plane grounded.
Enemy spy plane inbound. Multiple hostile spy planes
Sighting in on
detected.
spy plane. Hostile spy plane. Enemy spy plane grounded.
Package available.
Throwing grenade.
Enemy care package above. Enemy spy plane inbound. Hostile sentry turret active.
Neutralized. Harp identified. Hostile spy plane expired. Concealing prox mine.
Enemies destroyed your sentry turret.
Sit rep. Strike inbound. Going ahead.
Engaging counter spy plane.
Losing the advantage.
Enemy counter spy plane. Throwing grenade.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Smoke checked.
Spy plane available for targeting.
We're in the lead.
Stunned. Sighting in on spy plane. Enemy spy plane.
We've fallen behind.
Throwing frag.
They're kicking our asses. Fight back, damn it. Hostile artillery targeting active.
TACOM established spy
Artillery
plane
inbound.
overflight.
Enemy air patrol
Front.
inbound.
Spy plane mission time clock 50%. Your spy plane is destroyed.
Withdraw. Withdraw. The Reds have got us beat.
They're too strong for us. TACOM, get us the hell out of here. War machine to the left.
Take the
Throwing
objective.
frag. Stun.
Hardpoint
Stun.
identified. Hardpoint is secure.
Throwing frag.
We've lost the hardpoint. Hardpoint
Throwing
is secure.
frag.
We've taken the lead.
Stun.
Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is secure.
Throwing frag. Throwing stun.
Hardpoint lost.
Throwing frag. Stun. Throwing stun.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint lost.
Throwing stun. Stun. Throwing frag. Throwing frag. Trophy
This
system
isn't
activated.
working. We're behind. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint lost.
He's down. Throwing frag.
Hardpoint is secure.
Throwing stun.
Contesting hardpoint. Hardpoint locked down. We've lost the hardpoint. Enemy spy plane inbound. Hardpoint locked
Throwing
down.
stun.
We've lost the hardpoint. Enemy napalm strike incoming. Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint lost.
Throwing frag.
Hardpoint identified. Hardpoint locked down. Hardpoint Hardpoint lost.
Hunter requesting spy plane.
Average overhead. Transmitting enemy location.
Throwing
Enemy
frag.
spy
Your
plane
trophy
inbound.
system has been destroyed.
Stun. Bushwhack.
Hardpoint locked down.
Cover me. Trophy system removed.
Testing hardpoint. Hardpoint contested. Point located. Hardpoint is secure. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
Stun.
We're in the lead. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint lost.
Sighted in on spy plane. Enemy spy plane.
We've fallen behind. Hardpoint is secure. We've lost the hardpoint.
Throwing grenade.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Trophy system activated.
Hardpoint is secure. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint is
Stun.
secure.
Throwing
We've lost the
grenade.
hard point.
Throwing grenade. Throwing frag.
Hard point
Throwing
is
stun.
secure.
Throwing
Hard
stun.
point contested. We've lost the hard point. Hard point identified. Hard point is secure.
Your trophy system has been destroyed.
Marking artillery targets.
Hard point lost. Hard point is secure. Enemy spy plane inbound.
Throwing frag. Throwing stun.
We've lost the hard point.
Hostile spy plane. Enemy spy plane
Point is
grounded.
secure.
Throwing
Hard
stun.
point contested.
Frag. Threat down.
Hard point identified. Hard point locked down. Sit rep. Napalm strike inbound. Come on. We've almost got this.
One of your trophy systems has been destroyed.
Hard point
To
located.
establish this threat.
Hostiles have the hard point. Enemy napalm.
Spy plane flight time 50%.
One by. Hostile male.
Artillery targeting detected. Hard point contested.
Timeline expired.
Artillery inbound. We've lost the hard point. Hard point is secure. Enemy care package above. Enemy spy plane inbound. We've lost the hard point. Hard point is secure. Hard point identified. Hard point is secure.
Threat clear.
Contesting hard point.
Trophy systems have been destroyed.
Throwing frag.
Enemy napalm strike
Throwing
incoming.
grenade.
Your trophy
Hard point contested.
Throwing frag.
We've lost the hard point. Enemy established overhead. Hardpoint lost. Hardpoint locked down. You did the work of a nation. Come on home.
This is our house.
Green light, green light. We're in the lead.
Hostile
We've
marksman.
fallen behind. We've taken the lead. We've lost the lead.
Heads down. Sniper.
Hostile spy plane established overhead. Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
Wasted him.
We're taking control.
Removed enemy proximity mine. Tango, front. Trophy system activated.
Hostiles took out one of your trophy systems.
Back off. Get a spy plane on station above.
Good effect. Establishing trophy capability.
We've fallen behind.
Box mine gone.
Sit rep, napalm strike inbound. We're in the lead.
Contact him.
Hostiles took out one of your trophy
Enemy
systems.
RCXD detected.
Establishing trophy capability.
Sam turret operational.
Hostiles took out one of your trophy systems.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
Removed enemy proximity mine.
Authorizing spy plane mission.
Hostile marksman.
Authorizing spy plane launch.
Box mine gone. TAC off. Establish spy plane overflight.
Spy plane established overhead.
Enemy spy plane inbound. Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO.
Spy plane NGL 50%. Check.
Dropped him.
Priority tasking request received.
Enemy deleted.
Cruise missile inbound.
Cruise missile above.
One of your trophy systems has been destroyed.
Almost there. Hold fast, people. Hostile spy plane established overhead.
TAC off. Deploy napalm strike.
You made that look easy. Bravo Zulu.
That's right. You better run. Appears KIA. Confirmed.
Good evening.
Just so you know, I am streaming.
Oh.
I just got bored and I thought I'd start. Honestly, I didn't even know if anyone was online. I just
Team
thought I'd
deathmatch.
start the party. I didn't look. I've just been playing COD.
За родину!
I noticed, yeah. A really bad habit of just popping on in the middle of a stream.
We've pulled ahead.
That guy removido.
Obviously, at least people listening aren't in complete silence anymore. I just don't bother. So I just go, fuck it. No mic. Why the fuck not? I'm playing the game. Why not have a video upload?
This isn't fight. We're behind.
One day or another, it's most likely into like Let's Plays, you know?
Indeed. Because I just got a pretty sick feed that I'm quite happy with. I'm glad that it was recorded.
Yeah, I don't really play Call of Duty that much.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, that's why. This COD's alright, it's just a bit, I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same anymore.
Oh, what, the new one?
Yeah, the new ones just haven't felt the same for a while.
I mean, I never really liked, I say never really liked, I found the Call of Duty games like really, repetitive. So I just kind of get bored, you know?
Taking the lead.
Yeah. Things back in the day they were slightly less because you had more to do. Now they generally are, and there used to be different types of players. Now pretty much everyone's the same in some regard. There's not many people that will, apart from certain maps, there's not many people that will just rush anymore. They'll just sit back and camp.
Yeah, and I think also I noticed now that the only one I really liked was Modern Warfare 2 or 3. I can't remember those were my favourite. And I realised when I was playing or seeing the new Call of Duty one, it's like you just got to pay for so much more shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it started on Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 wasn't a bad Call of Duty, but there was a gun called the
yeah.
From there, it's just got a bit worse. They've got rid of the pay to win, kind of, but now I've noticed like there is still an aspect. They've gone on to cosmetics, which in a way is kind of worse because people are now paying for shit to look cool.
It's also like awkward because it's like so many games now have like microtransactions. Not everyone wants to pay. Like I think for me personally, like, the one game I kind of noticed this with was back on The Last of Us, the first one.
Yeah.
When you did the multiplayer and like how much like shit you can buy. And it was just really off-putting. And now it's like you see so many games and they just charge you ridiculous amounts.
I think The Last of Us was like The Last of Us's multiplayer was a cash grab. Everyone knows that. Like, it wasn't a thing they did because they basically went, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to take us years to develop. We need to make money in the meantime. What do we do? Oh, I know. Let's add the multiplayer.
It's like Neil Druckmann was like still deciding how buff he wanted Abby.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's easy to make that multiplayer. All it is maps from and areas from the campaign. So you've got your world built, and then you just need to buy a server, which isn't that hard to run, especially when you're a fucking $1 million company.
Yeah.
And just stick some of the guns from the game in a multiplayer.
It's also really fucking glitchy as well sometimes, and we've played it a few times.
Indeed we have, and it's not bad.
It's only fun when you're not glitching, or like when you play against a team and they're just OP as fuck.
Yeah, because there's people, or it's just populated by people who have clearly been playing it for years now.
Yeah, which the thing is like, I can respect that because, you know.
It's an old game, but it's just like, if you wanted to go and pick it, it's not long term unless you had the game from the beginning. If you wanted to pick it up today and like actually try and do well, unless you have previous experience, you're pretty much fucked. Unless you come across, the old lobby that's full of people who are the same as you, kind of just hopping back on The Last of Us for a nostalgia trip.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. I guess you could say it's like Titanfall 2. You know, it's a very old game, and I know I haven't really played it with you and the Avalors, but when when you do play against other people, it's even people who've played for years, and you know you get annoyed when they kill you. But I respect that though, compared to those who are just blatantly just like using cheats and hacks.
Because
then
there's definitely a couple of them on there.
Yeah, because then my argument is like I still don't understand why people like do that, because it just takes away the fun of the game.
It's because they played it when it first came out. They were shit at it, and it's the only way they can be good at it. That's what my theory is. It's the same thing with COD. When old CODs get hacked and people fly around the fucking map shooting people with the intervention, and then they drop a nuke every game and think they're sick. And then they probably take a screenshot of it and go, oh yeah, what did you get? What were your nukes on MW2? And go, oh look, I got this. And like, they're just fucking hacked.
It is quite annoying. It is.
It's sad, but it's pathetic, because like, even this COD, I thought in the beginning when I got on it, it was actually quite easy. I'm now realising it's not as easy as I thought it was. And it's certainly moved on from the CODs I liked quite a bit, in terms of the way the game is functioning. I'm getting better at it now the more I'm playing it, but I used to be really fucking good back in the day, and this one I'm struggling. And it's partly because I haven't played in a couple of years, but it's also partly because everyone's play styles have changed. Like, I'm currently playing a game mode where it's all snipers, because it's fun as fuck, because everyone's playing COD like you're supposed to. You're supposed to run around being hectic, and everyone's jumping in the air trying to fucking snipe each other. No one cares about their KD. It's just fun. It's a fun game. But you hop on anything that's remotely serious, even fucking Nuketown 24/7, where it's just supposed to just be all Nuketown nostalgia trip. You hop on that, everyone's camping, everyone's worked out the grenade spots to throw into spawn, everyone's spawn trapping. It's just fucking. And then the only way to counteract it and actually do well is to then camp yourself.
Yeah.
And then that's just boring.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is. I don't know. It's why it's one of the main reasons why I just like to play online, because like I'm not very skilled anyway when I play online, and I don't find it fun playing against people who are hackers and like are clearly cheating. But like I said, I respect playing against people who've been playing the game for years and they do what they do, and they've got skill, and I respect that, and I actually enjoy it, even if I get my ass handed, I still really enjoy it. But it's just playing it, it's like when you stand there, when someone's just standing you. It's like when we played Tomb Raider as well, like when me and Lewis were trying to get the platinums for it, we were playing with online people, and you just shoot them in the face with a shotgun, and they just stand there, mocking you, and just like, this is not fun. I'm not enjoying this anymore.
Yeah, it just ruins the game for everyone. It just makes things not be fun anymore. I'm not having any fun anymore.
Listen, I don't like you.
You know that Mayo game you said?
Yeah.
I bought it and I got the platinum.
It's
actually kind of funny. Yeah,
I told you it was
good,
funny.
but do you know there's a second one?
Yeah, but I haven't got it.
I did, but I got the platinum for that one too.
I know, I've been looking at your trophy list, and you're just going for them, aren't you?
I got a couple of easier ones. Obviously, I got the Minecraft done, which was years in progress. I'm probably gonna do Valhalla next as a serious one that's not just a stupid throwaway platinum. Because I like the easy ones, but especially when the game's like generally kind of good and funny. Like that Mayo game. Yeah. Like, I generally had fun playing that. The second one's funny. Even more funny. So like, I don't regret doing those platinums, but like those fucking Japanese manga comic things, like I literally just did them for the platinum, and I kind of want to move away from doing that and either do.
I was gonna say, why do you do? It's really weird because it's like you never got into platinums until it was like, what was it? It was one game I was trying to platinum, and then we kind of had. Oh, it was like Detroit Become Human when we were kind of like racing to see who'd get the platinum first, because it was generally a really good game.
I think my love for them kicked off partly there, but also partly when I finished Mafia 3 and went, yo, I got platinum this. And then we've been going from there. But I want to get some more serious ones, get Assassin's Creed done. I consider doing Call of Duty, but it's just really fucking annoying.
I mean, we could always try, like, you know, if we really want to hate ourselves one day.
I might give it a go. My cousin fucking made a joke to me because he's quite a good platinum hunter as well, and he offered me a game and said, yeah, no, I've got one that's like an easy platinum, and I hadn't heard of the game, and then I watched the video and I was like, oh no, I do remember this. Like the fucker said, yeah, no, do this, it's an easy platinum. The fucker offered me Devil May Cry.
Wait, Devil May Cry 5?
Yes.
Oh, dude, the platinum for that.
And I was sitting there like, this is one of the hardest platinums to get ever.
He's got that.
He's got the platinum for it, yeah. He fucking loves the game, but he's been playing them since the first one and had it like on every console you can fucking imagine.
I feel like I need to talk to you cousin just to like compare, you know, because I have a few silly platinums, but I have some quite serious ones. You keep saying that like the Skyrim ones I got is quite hard, but I don't think it's hard. I think people are just a bit lazy. And the reason why yeah, but it's also the reason why it's because like even though there's not really like collectibles to collect all Daedric weapons, you can fuck it up because you can't sell them. You have to have all of them, and if you accidentally sell them, which you can, it doesn't count, and there's no really other way to get whatchamacallit, the weapons back. Because I did that during my first one because I was mainly just replaying the game because I loved it. And I accidentally did it, and I was like, oh shit, well, I'm gonna continue on anyway with the story, and then I just made another new character, and I basically just redid it again, and I also did the DLC to that character, so, yeah. It wasn't that, but I think that's why, because it's like, you know, you can spend 60 hours into the game, and they're not all easy to get, they're quite tough to get sometimes, like, you do have to build up a level, so.
Yeah. But it's certainly it's not maybe defined as difficult. It's certainly grindy. But you take that as well. Take the oh, what's it called? The Ezio collection, the Assassin's Creed stuff.
Oh
like,
god, yeah.
That's not hard. It's just grinding.
I think Brotherhood that was just a pain in the ass with the Da Vinci weapons. That just killed my spirit. And I need to do Revelations, but it's just. I find it so hard to get into Revelations because I think the mechanics are so janky. I generally get frustrated. So, but I don't know. I'll probably give that a go. Probably once I'm done with some other games. I'm currently trying to platinum The Sims 4, you know.
That's a fucking difficult
Hostile counter spy plane established above.
It's not difficult. It's just long. But I usually, when I'm doing that sort of thing, I'll usually put on like a video which I watch while playing the game in the background, because then I kind of hit two birds with one stone, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do other things while doing, like, you know. Yeah. It's like anytime I go back to a game to do like the collectible runs or something, I'll usually just put the game in the background and just watch a video that I need to watch, or a series that I'm watching, you know. I'm not completely on it all the time.
Yeah.
They're gone.
You'd go insane if you did that.
Yeah, I mean, especially since I do want to. One of my.
I want this sniper. Oh my fucking sorry. I just
It's
got
okay.
I got a 4-man. I've been using this crappy sniper. I've just been experimenting with like different optics, and I picked up some guy's fucking sniper off the floor. It's like it's modelled off the old Barrett, and it's fucking amazing. Well, I haven't unlocked it. Oh my god, I'm on a 6 kill streak right now. Ah, I died. Fuck. Still, I just didn't want to die, so I didn't want to lose it, so now I'm back to using it. That's fucking amazing.
Like, I'm in Spain, but yes.
Yeah. yes, 100%. Whenever I'm detached from my
Enemy
band,
spy plane inbound.
that's not even fucking mine. To be fair, this optic is arse.
BDA, one down.
Oh, damn. Hello.
It's the first big map I've fucking played on. Who the fuck is shooting at me? Where you at? That was weird.
I noticed that you were playing the Walking Dead Telltale games.
Yeah, I finished the first episode of season 2. Thing is, I like the games, but I couldn't do what Lewis did, where like you play multiple episodes in a row. I just get bored.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it's not
I
even
think-
because the story's boring, it's just the gameplay is just quite
It's
draggy.
long.
It's long and draggy, and you enjoy them in sections. So I will probably get that platinum by the time for us to come out of lockdown.
I think, is it, I'm just trying to think. I think with the Telltale games, it's because obviously I've played a lot of Telltale games. They're quite repetitive in like terms of gameplay style. I love the story, I love the characters most of the time.
Enemy down.
But the thing I found like with Telltale, which changed obviously in the final season of the game, the Walking Dead one, is because Telltale got disbanded. Another game company took over and finished off the series, and you can really see that in terms of like how the game kind of plays out.
Yeah.
And the final season I just prefer out of every other single one,
Lewis
because
really likes the ending.
Can confirm.
yeah, it you know how usually like Telltale's like, oh yeah, your choices actually really matter, and it really doesn't. This one kind of does. There's a lot of things.
Sorry, it's my way. Continue.
It's alright. It's like, it is different, it's not like, oh my god, drastically different where, I'm trying to think of a game that has like multiple, it's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima ending, where you get a choice in the ending and it does make a difference, but not massively, you know what I'm saying, so, I couldn't think of another game on the top of my head, it's got like, like Heavy Rain for example, doesn't have like, endings like that.
Yeah, it's not.
Doesn't really mean anything though, to be honest.
It's just a thing.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
I hope I get best player of the game for my little Barrett run, because I want to watch that again. I also kind of want it to be on stream again so I can flex.
It's just that just flex it all.
That'd be 2 games in a row. My team's winning, but that guy's got the name of Bella Danger. Nice. All the good players our names are taken half the
Hostile snipers working.
The amount of Lisa Anns we run into in COD is ridiculous.
Target down.
Yeah, I was quite. I actually didn't know who she was.
Call of Duty is a reality check for most men where they get worried with the amount of porn star names that they know.
Enemy destroyed.
Because they find them funny and they're like, Jesus, that's like the 100th one today. I need to check my life.
It's down.
Yeah, I didn't realize who she was until I watched like, a podcast with someone, and they're like, yeah, and I started asking her a bunch of questions. And I was like, oh, shit, she's a monster. It was like it's like a rock, not rock band, like heavy metal band or metal band called Hollywood Undead, and they had a music video, and it's called like Dead by. I really like the song, but I was watching the video and basically one of the first females, so there's like a son and a mother in quotation marks.
Yeah.
It's just a really weird video, but this woman's like just got her tits out, and I'm like, they're very big. And then I read the comments and I found out it's just another porn star, and I was like, that's just okay. I kind of tell, it kind of gave off the vibe with the acting, in the music video. It's nice to see them branch out, though,
It's nice to see you're making a career for yourself outside of stuffing your hole. Like, the most popular ones are Lana Rhodes, Lisa Ann, Riley Reid, and Johnny Sins.
I'm surprised when parts of like Mia Khalifa's are.
Well, this is the thing, a lot of people don't like her now because of all the shit she was saying about her fucking porn. She said like, I was doing it to show Muslim women that they should expand themselves, and like everyone just turned around and went, nah. No,
but is it? Wait, am I ignorant when I say that like you know,
It's now or never. MTC
like
is
porn is like one of the definite no industries for Muslim women because you know sex before marriage and like you're showing yourself to like isn't that a big no-no?
It's a big no-no in most religions, but she came from fucking Lebanon or whatever it was. It's all like
I would understand if she's just like it's to show that women who are no longer Muslims that they can, you know, I don't know, do the like the classic like have like control over your body, be confident in your body, do what you want. That would make more sense, but it's going, you know, Muslim women. Kind of that makes no sense because I know she did a couple of skits. I know she did a couple of skits in the is it the hijab? Yeah. The
hijab, yeah.
Yeah, she did like a couple of skits in it, and it was really offensive. And I understand that because that's a religious attire, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like I don't really give a fuck about the offending them people, but it's like to argue that you are. Oh, I'm changing the religion. No, you're not. You've just made a bunch of crazy fuckers want to kill you. That's all you've done.
But also, like, that then, what's the point of following the religion then? Like, because, what?
She's got, like, thingy. She's got Arabic written on her arm and shit, and she says that sometimes she still practices, but then she says she doesn't. She, like, swaps between it, and it's like if you were a Jew. It's like people who say they're Jewish because they've, like, read the Torah, but, like, you can't be Jewish unless your mum's Jewish. And like, no, you can't. And
wait, I didn't know this. How does that work? I didn't know that.
So, I don't fully understand it, but I'll give my understanding, and I can be easily corrected. From what I understand, it's to do with in the Jewish faith. They believe that men are naturally flawed and don't worship God as strong as women do. So that's why. That's why men have to wear the what's it called? Is it the kippah? Where they have to wear the hat, and I believe they have like these little chains. I've forgotten what they're called, but there's little chains that hang off some of their trousers if they're Orthodox Jews anyway. And basically, it's there to remind them that they are, you know, that God's always with them, but they have to keep their faith. Women don't have to do anything in the Jewish religion because they believe that they are naturally born with strong faith. And I believe that that's the reason why if you're the only way you can be Jewish is if your mother is and your father doesn't matter. I think there are some Jewish communities now that do accept people into Judaism, like they will allow you to convert or become Jewish, but in terms of traditional Judaism, you're not allowed to become Jewish unless your mum is. That's why a lot of Jewish communities are smaller than others in terms of like expanding, and they're quite close knit. A lot of them are related.
You ain't got the facilities, man.
And that's why they have a fuck ton of kids. They have loads of kids, and then obviously those kids don't expand like that. But it's always going to be, you trace back the generations, they're going to be related at some point. Obviously not the people they're married, but the families are huge.
I guess that makes sense. Wow, I didn't know that. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you, but I didn't know about that.
It's like, you say Judaism and Christianity, they're pretty similar anyway. It's just that Christianity ignores some of those rules, like the kippah, and obviously they read the Bible and don't read the Torah scriptures and things like that. They don't read in Hebrew, it's Latin or English and a bunch of different things. There is Hebrew texts of the Bible that Christians read, but it's not really done in the modern day as much. It's kind of an old thing.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, Christians and Jews don't accept you. You could go to a synagogue as a Christian and they'll accept you.
Multiple enemy counter spy planes overhead.
And
part of the reason why they do accept you is because they're not like other religions where they'll take you in and try and convert you, because they don't want to do that. because their religion says unless your mother is not born Jewish, you can't do that. So that's why they're kind of some of the most accepting people you could find. Don't get me wrong, there's some Orthodox ones that are dicks, but you get that in every religion.
Yeah, you always get a bad, what you call it, bad right.
But in terms of the Jews I've ever met, and Jewish fans, I've never really had a bad experience with one.
Throwing granada.
But again, there isn't actually that many of them either. You do see the odd Orthodox Jew walking around with the hat and the they're not supposed to shave their beards as well. I think that's the thing. If you're proper, and as soon as you can start growing facial hair, you're not supposed to shave it.
Yeah, I've seen, it's pretty weird. I remember the first time I actually saw it was when I was in Canada. Which is like, I guess, I don't know why, but I just don't think I'd actually see someone like that there, in that kind of place. Japan's quite,
There's quite a lot of Jews in London, particularly in central London. There's quite a lot of Jewish hotspots.
yeah.
Counter spy plane fuel reserve.
Yeah, it's we've had them here for a couple of years. But there was a point 1300 where we kind of kicked them out, but that was because of the whole. That was when Christians were kind of having talks with each other, going, "Oh yeah, no, we're reading the proper word of God. No, we are," and all that fucking rubbish.
Yeah, debate within the community. It happens to the best of us.
We live in a modern day now. I'm sure there is people that still have that argument, but in terms of the actual thing, Jews mainly have a problem with Muslims now.
Hostile counter spy plane.
And half
Yeah,
the time
exactly.
that's actually got nothing to do with the religion, it's to do with
Hostile spy plane.
it's like they turn it into a religious argument, but then you listen to their points, half of them are about Israel. And it'd be, well, what right do you have to the Holy Land? And they set that up as a religious argument to do with... they're arguing that they have a religious right to the land, but it's got nothing to do with a country, because the Bible, or the Torah, or the Quran doesn't talk about, oh yeah, no, this Holy Land's yours. But it doesn't mean you have to turn it into a country. It just means that it belongs to you, meaning you can go there and switch, you can. So technically, like, there's still a giant mosque, a giant church, there's a giant synagogue in Jerusalem, and Muslims, Jews, Christians all go there. So technically, the Holy Land is anyone's. It's just controlled by the country that so happens to be Jewish.
Wow.
But there's no winning, because if you think about this scenario, right? Say that Israel became a Muslim country. Then the Jews are going to complain, and so are the Christians. Well, they don't want Muslims to control the Holy Land. Instead, if you make it Christian, there's going to be a problem. The ultimate solution, really, is either A, make it a non-religious state, which is never going to happen in the Holy Land, or B, straight up just agree that everyone's going to have part of the country, but then, you know, then there's the problem of who gets Jerusalem and all that fucking bollocks, and it's never going to work. And it's just about who who supports who in terms of whatever. And in terms of what's gone on in terms of the world, I will always support the Jewish state of Israel, because of the fact that you look at what countries surrounding Israel do, I don't agree with their policies. And it so happens that a lot of them are Muslim, but a lot of them are also just a bunch of assholes who just enact policies that have got nothing to do with religion at all, like when the fucking, I always forget his name, he's still alive, the Syrian dictator, started gassing all these people. Or what's going on in Yemen at the moment, that we see always on the fucking news.
I honestly, I'm like the worst person to talk about this kind of stuff with, because I just keep it, like I said, I don't do extensive research into political stuff or anything like that. I kind of prefer, like, just to ask people.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of deal.
Yemen's just fucked. Yemen's fucked in general. Yemen has had wars for fucking years, and they're now having civil conflict, and it's just destroying the country. I dread to think what coronavirus has done to that country, because all you have to do is go on YouTube and look up the 10-minute video of the Yemen hospitals, and how people are... The hospitals are so low on medical supplies that you have to pay for your healthcare in Yemen. But instead of now paying for the supplies in the hospital, you have to go to a pharmacy round the corner, buy your medical supplies there to bring back to the doctors to use on your kid or use on your wife or whatever.
Oh jeez.
And there's one the clip they used on the BBC video on YouTube is depressing as fuck. I think the kid's got pneumonia. They needed to. I think he's starvation as well. Actually, he's got pneumonia as a result of being starving to death. The dad's told he's got to go to the pharmacy and buy the stuff. It's a 10-15 minute walk, and obviously he fucking runs there, gets the supplies, and comes back. His son's dead. Yeah, that's how desperate of a situation they're in at the moment. And then the thing is they're in a room, they're in a hospital, where 2 other kids have just started to get next to them.
Oh my god.
And the cycle continues. Yemen's just completely fucked, and it doesn't matter how much international aid they get, the country's just going to be fucked for a long, long time.
That's the thing that just kind of sucks, is the fact that like there's just so much issue and like war and stuff. There's not much like as you as an individual can do.
No, it's governments ruin things, they embezzle beyond money. It's why, to be honest, you take Eastern Europe, no one ever wants to go to Eastern Europe on holiday, unless of course you're talking about Russia and some of the nicer places, or of course you've got family there. But you look at, if you, I think there's a really good documentary about it. It's about 4 hours long, but like it's long to get to the point. But if you look up photos of Eastern Europe during the 70s, 80s, and even kind of at the end of the 90s, it looks like modern day Europe. It's mainly in the capital city. It's insane how badly the countries have become in like 20, 30 years. And a lot of them weren't bad, don't get me wrong. They weren't all perfect gleaming Soviet lands, but fuck me, what some of the things used to be and what they are now is ridiculous. Particularly in Belarus, that's a problem.
Think about it.
There's people in the Soviet Union, or obviously the former Soviet Union, that say they liked it more when Russia was there.
Oh god.
And they'd go back to a Russian-controlled state. And to be honest, some of the countries, I don't actually blame them. You look at places like Moldova. There's a guy called Gordon Bankrupt. He goes to European countries. He does really
Sorry, when he's asking me about that, but no.
That's fine. Featuring Gordon. Give me yeah, he goes to Moldova and you look at their capital. I've forgotten what it's called off the top of my head. But you look at the places and you look at their capital city and all these run-down buildings. And I couldn't believe it when I first watched it. He opens the video in the capital and he looks like he's in the middle of... Did you ever play the Chernobyl map on Call of Duty?
I didn't actually, I can't remember that I have.
Well, basically, it's just a bunch of run-down buildings, hotels that used to be like really expensive, completely abandoned, and it's the capital city, and it's the least visited place in Europe, and it's fucking mental how shit it is. There's posters for politicians everywhere doing the elections, and they've probably all stolen money from the country. All their kids don't go to school in Moldova, and they're just using the country as an embezzlement place. Because it's how they make their money, and it's proper fucked up.
Yeah, it's just how the world works, sadly, you know?
If you looked at the place and someone told you, yeah, this is Europe, you wouldn't believe it.
I kind of would, because I kind of, you know, really know that sort of thing, but it is kind of hard to think about that sometimes. Because obviously, like, well, we live, no, we're not
And what we
part of
consider
Europe.
to be European, as kind of standard European. Because again, everywhere in Europe is different in terms of culture and things, and everyone, you know, has different languages and shit like that. But you go to Germany, and when you go to France, you pretty much know where to get a bus, where to get a train, where you've got to go, you know, for a restaurant. And things, because you might not speak the language, but it's kind of set out the same. These places look like they're in the middle of a fucking war.
Yeah. It is like kind of bizarre because like we're not used to that, you know, because we don't live in that sort of world and we're not really exposed to it like every single day. And also it's not like the first thing that you see when you know, when you kind of look up these places, you kind of have to dig just a bit more around it.
Oh, you know, there's a really bad symptom. It's kind of funny, but you type in any country, unless they're really, really bad or they're in the news for going through a war, usually the first image is something beautiful about that country, even if it's a complete shithole.
Yes, that's what I'm
It's like you look up photos of London, and if anyone who lives in London, you look up all these. Yes, there's a lot of beautiful places in London, but trust me, if you Google London and you plan on coming to London based simply off of images you've seen online, most of them are a lie.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
It's very different. It's very, very different to say the least. It's,
I know we got all right. That's only on Wednesdays when the Queen has to get her hair done.
there's
Spread
always
the lies,
weird.
they'll believe it.
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't feel like this. I get kind of like agitated when I hear people trying to do like the British accent, but it's so bad.
Oh no, it is aggravating. It's aggravating.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And the classic British thing is if we all talk like this, and we're all prim and proper, and
No,
we
do
speak
you know
with
the
a
ones
proper
I always
talking
do?
accent.
I always see the ones that like, good day, governor.
Oh, good day, governor. Yeah, no, like that.
I speak the quick. It's like, oh, we don't. Oh god.
I've never heard anyone that speaks like that. Like, I've got a mother that comes from Lambeth, which is what that accent's supposed to be. London Cockney. I've never heard someone never.
So, but when I hear people and they go, I'm speaking the Queen's English, I just kind of go, shut up.
Oh, but there's a new movement now about girls. It's mainly on fucking TikTok. People saying that people are like, oh yeah, no, I don't speak English. Is another word for American. I speak American.
Enemy spy plane inbound.
No, you fucking don't. And they go, the English have stolen our language. I'm like, hang on a fucking bit. You know, because I heard one girl generally say, it's not England, it's the UK.
Multiple enemy counter strike overhead.
I generally wanted to, like, pull my fucking hair out. Yeah.
Is this an American?
This is an American, yeah, but these are Americans where you give them... There was a girl on TikTok, right? This is the one good thing that BuzzFeed has ever done, right? She was talking so much shit, this was last year, about how British people couldn't name where places were in America, didn't know the names of states, didn't know where they were. So what they did was they got her and just a random UK guy who works for BuzzFeed. He lives in America, and the American girl was told to name 4 places in the UK. Bearing in mind she'd lived in the UK for 12 years. Name the 4 countries of the UK and say where they are, you know, geographically.
Yeah.
She got all of them wrong. Right? Bear in mind, this guy, right, he lived in America for 6 months. He never left New York. They told him, I want you to guess geographically where states are and name as many as you can and put them on a blank US map and kind of go, where do you think they are? He only could name 35 out of them in total, right? But he got 15 of the locations completely right, and he got 10 of them kind of right. Some of them he got wrong, but some of them he was kind of right about. And the girl just said, yeah, but he cheated. And she made a whole exposing video about how BuzzFeed had set her up, and he straight up didn't even know it was for a video. He was never told it was for a video. And it's just fucking hilarious how pathetic some of these people are when they get called out. And it's especially funny when...
just take the L. You know, you just kind of got to just take the L, mate. It's just embarrassing. It's like, oh no. It's reminded me of someone, but I can't pinpoint the video, but it's like, oh no, it's, you know those videos, like, from the cut, I think, where it's like, oh, here's $1,000, who do you think should get it?
Yeah.
And it's like 5 or 6 random people, and they go, well, I should get it because of this and that. And, oh god, it's just, I don't know why, but like, I understand Brits are quite bad, but the Americans are a whole different breed. I am not going to lie.
Especially just doing a lot of this COVID stuff.
Oh god, it's people in general still now with the pandemic still like amazing. Like I walked into a shop to go grab something, and there was this guy. Well, it wasn't really social distancing, and he had a mask on, but he basically pulled it over half his lip. The top half of his lip and his nose was exposed.
These people don't even realise that they're a meme. They're literally the shopping, me fucking like, it's just the photo of the guy in the shop wearing like 12 masks and a face shield, and then the customers like wearing it over their eyes.
It's like that drawing where someone said like, you having a wearing your mask like this is basically, it's like this wearing your underwear, and it's like guy who's got a pair of underwear on but the tip is sticking out.
Yeah.
It's like, it is though.
It is. It generally is. It's funny when people just... Coronavirus detractors just don't make any fucking sense. We live in a crazy world full of retards.
It's like, it's really not that hard to just put on a mask and just not be a dickhead. But then again, it's people we're talking about. These are the same people who probably... Like, I say it's not that hard, but these are like the same people who just litter everywhere, complain about everything, or, you know, stuff like that. Like, the people who just can't do the simplest of things.
It's like the vaccine stuff now. It's particularly a thing in the UK. Like we've gone over 7.5 million vaccines now, I think.
Okay, we're catching up.
The goal is to be like 14 million by the middle of February. We did 250,000 in one day. It's slowly starting to look semi-decent in terms of how many they're getting done. But the problem is there's no action plan for people who have been vaccinated. And I said this comparison, and I know there's a lot of different, you know, there's a lot of different factors that this isn't completely right. But it's like if you were in hospital for cancer. You've been in hospital for months, and then they turn around and tell you, congratulations, your cancer's in remission. You're so happy you're not going to die, or you might not die. And then they tell you that you've got to stay in hospital for another 3 months, even though you're in remission.
Alright.
That's kind of the way the vaccine's being dealt with at the moment, is that people are getting this vaccine and they're being told, yeah, I know you're vaccinated for COVID, but you've got to go back inside.
Yeah, but...
And there is a reason, because it's about, you know, though they've been vaccinated, they can still pick it up on their skin, and they can still spread it through their clothing, and they can still spread the virus. It does make sense in that regard, but there's going to become a point where there's more people vaccinated who aren't than aren't, and that's when you kind of need to go, right, these people need to go back into normal society, or the new version of normal. And anyone, if you, straight up, I'm so glad what they've done is that when you get vaccinated, you get a vaccination card, prove that you get vaccinated. And I didn't know they were doing this till my mum told me the other day. I'm so happy about that, because I think that means what they're going to do in the future is, when you want to go into a shop, or something, you can go into a shop if you're not vaccinated, but when you want to go and buy something, they'll go, oh, can I just see your vaccination card, please? They won't do it forever, but they'll do it for a little bit until, you know, they've weeded it, and it will stop people from being anti-vaxxers, because they'll stop them from getting jobs and shit.
Also, maybe it's also kind of nice as well to kind of like start opening up other shops that kind of need to be open. Like, you can only come into the restaurant if you're vaccinated. vaccinated, and everyone in your group is vaccinated, and you've got a card to prove it. Kind of like a form of ID, you know, like when you go to a pub, and they say, or like a club, like you can't come in unless you've got like, a valid form of ID. Is it scannable, the card?
I don't know, but I think that's kind of the idea in the future.
Yeah, because like
RFID chips and all that shit.
Yeah, because like I think to a point it is going to get to the point where you're going to have more people vaccinated than unvaccinated, but it's not fair to keep people who are vaccinated indoors.
No,
and also it's also good for businesses. And I think also when it's kind of a good idea to slowly start opening things again, like obviously when more people are vaccinated, to kind of go, you know, obviously kind of like I don't know.
We just had Brexit, right? We're in the middle of a struggling time in terms of the economy. We are ahead of Europe massively in terms of vaccinations. We are like 6 million people ahead, the second country in Europe with the highest. We are doing really well. If we can keep pushing it out at this rate, we can open our economies up way before Europe can. It means we can get a fucking head start.
Yeah, that's
exactly what we need to fucking do. And
maybe that's a Boris.
There kind of isn't signs yet that he isn't going to do that, because, like, trust me, I'm sure he fucking wants to. Like, if someone told him, if his chief medical advisor told him tomorrow that he could open everything up, he fucking would. But it's the thing of, I reckon we need to get to about 25 million vaccines, and then consider it, which could be done by March.
Yeah,
if it keeps going the way it's going.
I've been kind of saying how, like, because the whole lockdown, like, I'm not particularly bothered about lockdown. I'm quite fortunate, you know, with everything going on. But the one thing I've been kind of saying is, I wouldn't be very happy. I'm guessing like the majority of people. And I said this to you before, like privately, that you know, there is no reason by the end of this year, unless a new strain of a virus came and the vaccines just didn't work, you know, came about and knocked everyone out. That's the only time I'll go, okay, being in lockdown is still, it's completely fuck us over, but that's, you know, understandable. But with the vaccines being worked on continuously and being pushed out at rapid rate, everyone getting vaccinated, everyone building up the immunity, you know, hand sanitizing and all that becoming like essential and whatnot, I would lose my mind if we're being knocked down, but we don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably not, I'm like touching wood on this, like it's not gonna happen, but I've been kind of hoping that, at least by this summer, we would kind of start going back to normal.
Yeah.
Even if there are rules in place, like you can't go out, you can't go to certain places unless you're vaccinated, like I said, you can't be inside somewhere with friends unless you're all vaccinated and you've got cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly reasonable, because there's even the thing in the future that if, let's say coronavirus never fucks up, they said that the plan in the future is once you're vaccinated, and they'll do the same thing for flu. What they'll do is instead of having a separate card for it, they'll put it on your driving license. And they'll have 3 sections within your driving license where every time you get updated every year for your vaccination, they can just add an extra bit to your card. So it shows how many years you've been vaccinated, and then obviously after the 5 years when you have to renew your driving license, you just go and get a reset. And it just works like that.
Yeah, because I guess then if they checked like on your system, like I don't even know what I'm talking about. This is if I know what's going on, like how it works. That'd be quite smart. Because I honestly do think it is going to become one of those things where it's not going to go away, kind of like the flu. I think it will stay, and obviously it will mutate, but we'll just have to keep creating different vaccines to update it and keep fighting it. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, well, think about this, we've been in lockdown for, what, almost a year now?
Yes.
Like, since our first lockdown, like, it's been nearly a full year of this happening. Like, I don't expect this for them to keep putting us in lockdown again, or stuff like that. Because I do honestly think, like, they should make it mandatory where you do have to wear, you know, face masks on public transport and stuff like that, because it's like a common thing in places like China and Japan. Like, it's a cultural thing there, where you wear face masks in public and stuff. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is like, there's nothing stopping them from enforcing the rules of you have to wear a face mask like on public transport, especially like the tubes and shit, you know.
Enemy counter spy plane inbound.
I'm not stopping them at all. At the end of the day, and I think they need to remember that sometimes.
But I'm still like surprised that they don't, because you know how they were saying how before like, oh, if you're not wearing a face mask, the bus driver won't let you on and stuff. And they just, you know how people are on the bus and they just don't wear a mask and they haven't got like any card that says, you know, I can't wear a mask because, you know, I'm compromised or anything like that. I don't know, it's just
Supposed
like...
to be a new security door being added to buses where they can swing it out in front of you to stop you coming on the bus. That was supposed to be added a couple months ago and it never got added. It'd be funny as fuck though, the amount of videos there would be of people getting clarted by these doors, it'd be amazing.
Throwing septic. Throwing
I'd find it
septic.
fucking hilarious. I'd watch compilations of that.
Spy plane engaging.
Oh god, can you imagine? Oh my god, that'd be fucking
Spy
funny.
plane now.
You can make a TV show out of it, easy.
Trophy system online.
That's so funny. That's really gonna do that. Wow. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I'm actually disappointed.
I
that
think
they
it
haven't.
might still potentially be happening as a new form of security in the future, but it won't be to stop people with the virus, it will be to stop people from vaccinated.
Throwing
It's
stun.
just sub-assholes, like, because God, you know how people, like, we've been on the bus with complete dickheads.
Well, they're currently trying to work on a vaccine that people could administer at home. So for the future, where when you need time to update your vaccine, you can do it to yourself. A bit like what people with diabetes have to do.
Septic's out.
Yeah.
Eventually that might become a thing, but you know, no one knows. They've been trying to do it with flu for years, and it hasn't happened, so there's the potential that it never fucking happens. But
Yeah, that's quite, I'd say, advanced, because you can very easily fuck that up.
we also have the instructions to do it properly.
We're
in
losing
that.
the advantage.
They say that what the guys would be is to stop people fucking it up. You get your first one for free, but if you fuck it up, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but then that might be an issue for people that, I don't know, that can't inject themselves, or they live by themselves, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see that happening myself with a proper like jab. I can't imagine that happening with a proper jab. Can I imagine it happening with it with a prick your finger sort of thing, or something that you ingest, or like maybe stabbing your thigh and it does the injection for you? Not the fucking syringe where you stab it, put it in, especially by yourself. Ooh.
Don't stab it.
This reminded me when I got like a. That's like.
Spy plane.
Oh no, I don't know why, but my brain just kind of went. But that's like trying to do yourself a draw a blood test out by yourself. Dude, I only had like 3 blood tests done in my life, and my god, I fucking hate every single one.
You've also got to inject it properly as well. You do it wrong and fuck it up. You could.
Well, yeah, I had a last one.
Or B, you could just not get the vaccine.
I had a nurse with like.
A fuck ton of pain and not even have had the vaccine.
Like, I had a nurse once, she went to go do blood for me, because I was trying to see if I had PCOS. And she put the needle in, and she was just looking at it, and there was no blood coming out. She was like digging around in my vein.
Yeah, that's bad.
And, I know someone who had like, the nurse had to do it 3 times before she finally like fixed it. Got stabbed 3 times in the blood vein. Yeah, yeah, ooh, right.
It's not the ideal situation. I had a choice. Not to have to.
If I had a choice, I would say no.
If I had a choice, I would have a good thing in my vaccine. Thank you.
Yeah, I would, but my butler just doesn't like needles.
My butler was supposed to do it this morning. He was supposed to inject me directly into my anus, and he was not able to do it.
You see, Jeffrey has a fear of needles.
It is not the fact that he had to inject it into my arms. That is possible.
It's just the bottom, you know.
There is a condition that I've read about. It's quite hard. apparently there is a medical condition where people get like, prominent of their veins in their arse. Like around their arse, meaning these people have to literally inject it
Burger King.
That's a hard life. Imagine being told you got to get a vaccine and then you got to be told, yo bro, we got to do this anally.
Стыдитесь. I expected much more.
Yeah bro, it doesn't matter, it's only like 12 inches more.
Oh god. Wait, isn't it like... Can't girls get like a body contraception after they're literally shot in the arse every 3 months?
There is the fucking the needle thing. It's weird. And half the time it doesn't fucking work.
I knew someone who did that, and I'm not gonna lie, why the fuck do you want to get shot up the arse 3 times a month?
Take a fucking pill. If you can't take a pill, just be really careful. And if the man says he has an allergy to latex, there's 2 situations. Number 1, you get latex-free condoms. Number 2, he's lying.
I love the excuse of oh, condoms just don't fit me. I have seen people take a condom out of my purse and put it over their heads.
I
Don't
can't say the
compliment
name on
yourself that
stream
much, love.
because we're streaming, but I'd say a name right now, and I don't even need to say it because you know exactly who I'm talking about. You just don't feel good. It's kind of the point, mate. It's kind of the point. It's part of the point. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of people out there like that. Everyone knows what this
There is. Oh yeah, and also guess what? My mentality is, you know what? Fine. If you don't want to put it on, get out. It's not that hard. Stop complaining. Oh, but like, I'm sorry, but I'm not risking getting pregnant and STD just for something that I can buy online. You know, if it doesn't come with any of its
and you
issues.
don't get to stick. Simple as that.
And if they don't respect that, well then they don't deserve to hit it.
Nah.
Respectful men deserve to hit it. That's my motto in life. Oh, yay. Unless you know you're into that and you're perfectly fine with that, then go ahead, you do you, just don't be
Team
an idiot.
deathmatch.
Throwing Semtex. Throwing
Make the
Semtex.
Soviet Union proud.
Spawn out.
Oh, no. I don't ever want to see you end up on a what was it? Teenage mom or teenage parenthood or something.
Yeah. That show, that concept is depressing as fuck. And
Do you know what my mum
these
said?
girls, they're like, it's so hard for me, then why are you fucking 15?
Listen, my mum said, like, I was watching the American Teen Mom, and it's so bizarre. Like, there's this lady complaining. She has 2 daughters by 2 different men. Okay, and like apparently, like she's not a teenager anymore, but she had a kid when she was a teenager. But she's complaining and she's like writing up a list of like, oh, I'm gonna make all the dads, like the daughters' dads, like give me all this money. But then she's put like the kids in gymnastics for like apparently $240 a month. $250 a month for the kids in gymnastics.
Unnecessary amounts of money.
And she said like, oh, they're gonna pay for this because I can't afford it. And then I go, well, wouldn't you talk to that with what? With the father? Because that's like, that's basically a sort of characters of like, oh, I'm gonna buy my daughter like a Gucci dress, but her father's got to pay for it because it's so expensive. It's like, no, they don't have Primark in America. They have Target. Walmart. I do want to go.
Follow the American accent, otherwise we're hypocrites.
Walmart. Well, we can't say it like this. I say Walmart. You're not supposed to do it. They go Walmart.
Yeah, but it is Walmart. It's Walmart. But they don't speak proper English, so they have to pronounce it weird.
Have eyes on
No, they speak American.
Yes, I forgot, sorry, the language of America. God save the Biden.
Throwing Semtex. Throwing stun.
No, it's just like my mum explained to me the other day because I was watching it with her, and my god, the kids were at the same time. Like, I don't know how the mum gets. I don't know if it's because she's on camera, she can't like smack them or do anything on camera, but they're just right sometimes. And then my mum said to me, and then my mum made a comment where she said, She used to get my brother to watch this, like also the British version as well, Teenage Mums. She used to get him to watch all like the Teenage Mums and goes, yeah, that will happen to you if you ever get a girl pregnant. And I'll tell you something, it works like a charm. Man's nearly 20.
Still a virgin.
Man's only 27. Still having a kid. Proud of him. You know?
She's put him off it for life instead of just
Not for.
No,
I
he's
wouldn't say
never
not
once
for
went.
life. I wouldn't say not for life. I think she's definitely like pushed it back to an reasonable age to have kids if he ever wants them. That's still like a thing. And then it's like, you know, I don't know.
All I ever feel sorry for someone like that is if you've been raped. That's about the only thing. Maybe the odd exception that if you generally had proper protected sex and there generally was a mistake, maybe then, but...
I also feel bad for guys where they are, you know, do use protection and it breaks, but then the mother goes like, no, I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
And then the guy kind of goes like, I don't want it, and she goes like, too bad.
That is the fucked up area of the law where it's kind of really ambiguous because, yes, you do feel sorry for the mum, it is her body, it's her choice, but by that logic, he shouldn't have to pay anything then.
It's still like, what do you call it, like, it's still a massive responsibility, and, you know, I do think we should get, you know, especially for the men, you know, who do, you know, it does happen by accident, and they go, you know, I don't want it, and the mother goes, oh, too bad. Like, the dad has no option but to do it, unless, you know, especially if she gets the law involved, and the law never goes, well, did you talk about it, did you want this kid? And it's like, no, I didn't want it, but she still had it against my wishes. No one sees an issue with that. I see an issue with that, because if that happened to a woman, right, where, okay, say like a woman, partner, had a kid, or she was forced to have a kid, even though she didn't want it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone hates that. No one hates it when people, like, men have to be fathers when they've done it. There's a difference between being an idiot and being careful. It's just, I think it does need a bit of an update, you know? But I don't think it's fair. That's like, what do you call it? That's like, I'm trying to think of like an example. That's basically you okay, that's like, you, it's gonna sound really weird. I don't know why my brain's thinking of this, but it's like passing a driving test, but now you're forced to buy a car, even though you don't necessarily want a car.
You just wanted to pass the test.
You wanted to pass the test. You know, you had no intention to buy a car. You did everything to make sure that you didn't have to buy a car, and now they go, no, you need to buy a car now. And you're like, what? I don't know why my brain thought of that.
But no, it does make sense.
Ay, very señorita. Wow, this is very insightful conversations we always have.
Indeed.
For self, what?
It's like,
What?
it's going back to the coronavirus thing. The thing that started to piss me off about the lockdown rules is some of them are, number one, there's loads of people fucking ignoring them. And fucking now. But the thing that annoys me is like, and the fact that you're going, I can't go and see you without breaking the law in any way. But the thing,
just to give context, I'm like moving, so that's why I'm moving quite far away from London.
It's very sad, very sad.
Quite soon actually as well, but
the thing that's annoying as well is like, if me and Lewis went, oh, you know, we're going to say goodbye to Amy, we could do it on an individual basis, where he walks up to you, you then two go and meet and say goodbye, then I come afterwards. But like, number one, that's fucking weird, and number two, like, the difference between you and him meeting together, completely fine. If I join you, 200 quid fine.
yeah.
Because we got 3 people. Like, and it's the simple basis of we can't even go and go, oh right, let's go and meet up at a party. I was looking into it in terms of, oh, I want to go and see Vic, maybe I'll go for a walk. I can't do that because of my job. And it's like, the rules, even though she's been vaccinated. And I've just had COVID.
So wait, is she not allowed to see anyone then? I saw.
Well, she can if they're within her county.
Oh.
And obviously Epsom things, and it seems technically there is a legal loophole where I can go and do it, but you bump into the wrong police officer. I can't afford a 200 quid fine right now.
Secure.
The thing as well that's annoying about it is she's vaccinated. I haven't said this yet, but I've had COVID, and I got over it about 4 days ago. I've got antibodies, so she's vaccinated. I've got antibodies. I have nature's version of the vaccine for the next couple of weeks or couple of months, but I can't get it because everyone else needs to be on lockdown. This is the individual rules thing that I just don't understand why it hasn't been implemented yet.
I do think it's because I think they are trying to figure out what to do, because the thing is if they start doing that, obviously people are going to take the piss. People are going to try. I think they are trying to do it, but I think they even might be waiting for a certain point where people are vaccinated and maybe the vaccination cards are sturdy or actually more reliable. I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're just trying to plan it all out. Maybe. I have no idea what they're doing.
No one has any idea why anyone's doing it anymore.
Yeah, you just gotta hope and pray that you're gonna live to see like the 21st birthday.
Even if it's not lockdown birthday.
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that by the time the summer comes around, we can't, like I said, we can't afford to be in lockdown for another year. Even by the end of the year, we can't afford it. You know, and the thing is, it is going to have to be a point where you're just going to have to suck it and open it up, because people are still going to get it regardless, you know. But it's just got,
people and then
but it's just got to come. It's just got to come to a point where you just kind of got to go like, you know, you get it, you just self-isolate and you get, I don't know, a vaccine when you can or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, what obviously once the amount of people are vaccinated and the NHS aren't so, you know, overrun, just come down to that. You know? And for a while, they might just have to do it where if you travel out of the country, you have to come back, you mandatory self-isolate. Because I knew people, the thing is, I knew people from, it was like, after the first lockdown happened and just before the second lockdown during the summer, they were I knew these people, I'm not going to say their names, but I knew these people and they were going to go to Spain originally, but they didn't like the fact that they would have to self-isolate when they came back, because they're like, oh, we can't afford to self-isolate for 2 weeks. So they went to Greece instead, because when they came back they would have to self-isolate. They changed it because and I was like, how fucking selfish is that? And then one of these people has had COVID 3 times. I shit you not, they've had it 3 times.
Those people aren't just getting it because they're unlucky. They're putting themselves in situations where they can get it easily.
And I'm sorry, but I haven't had COVID. Well, I'm pretty sure I had it like a year ago. I don't even know, and I can't even be tested to see if I've had it now, because obviously my antibodies would be gone. But I would imagine now, like, if I was to get tested, like you for example, I'd be fucking terrified of, like, you know, catching it again.
Oh, you know, I can say from one thing, like, I'm 20, and it wasn't fun. It's some people who got it and didn't get any symptoms, they're lucky, because it's not, it doesn't matter what it's not fun. It really isn't. You don't feel like you're gonna die, but you kind of lose the will to do anything. Simple things you just don't want to do anymore. I couldn't be asked to eat or drink because it was too much effort.
Yeah. Because, like, when I'm pretty sure I had it, like I said, I can't say whether I had it, but I think I had it very similar to it. Just, like, I got really sick. I had a really bad cough as well for about 2 months of cough, and then by the end of the 2 months, after being on very strong antibiotics, the doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. I went to get checked out, and I thought it was an issue with my lungs. It wasn't. It was something to do with my windpipe, and they had no idea what was going on. This was legit. I think I remember telling you guys I was really sick. I think 2 months before lockdown happened.
Yeah.
The first lockdown, and I got better just before that. Yeah, because I was really sick, and then I had a really bad cough, and then I got a fever, and then after that, after I was on antibiotics to try and help my cough because I was really struggling to breathe, I lost my sense of taste and smell, and that's never. I've been sick, like really, really sick before. I have never lost my sense of taste, and that was the weirdest shit to happen to me. And then I just had really bad body aches. But for like 3 days straight, I didn't eat or drink. I just slept because I couldn't eat because I felt sick because I couldn't taste it, and my brain's thinking you should taste it, and I couldn't. And I just felt so run down that for 3 days straight, I just slept. I barely did anything. It sucked, and at one point it did get scary because I was really struggling to breathe. Where even like trying to use my asthma pumps made it worse.
It's very likely COVID because you're describing a lot of the symptoms like that kind of got out. Or had.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because my mum when she went to go to the doctors, because she explained my symptoms to the nurse, and basically what the nurse said is if I went to the doctor and used it a month later with the exact same symptoms, I would have had to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
Targets requesting artillery barrage.
Yeah. Yeah, but I went to college and everything, and I went to work as well. And I'm extremely lucky that like no one I know personally has passed away after COVID. And I don't. Yeah, I think my mom gave it to me, potentially because she was really, really sick, and everyone in her office was tested for COVID. So she most likely got me sick. She's got really good immunity, so she didn't really display a lot of symptoms. She was just really sick for a couple months. Then I had it, but then luckily I didn't give it to like anyone else. I wasn't really seeing like family either because I was busy with college and shit. But it's not nice, and I would really prefer to not really go through that again, especially with the breathing, because my god, was that what kind of when you're using an asthma pump and it makes it worse, that's a very scary thing, because then you kind of go, but shit, fuck, you know.
Shit breathing to not being able to. The only thing more terrifying than having, you know, a bit of trouble breathing is not being able to. Or not being able to use the one thing that will help you get breath.
Yeah, it's a bit fucked sometimes, but like I said, I'm okay. I haven't had it since just because, well, I just been sensible. Like I haven't left the country. I rarely leave my house, and when I was working, obviously I maintained all the rules. Just simple, innit? Like I don't see how for some people it's so hard just to follow the rules.
Because they haven't had enough detail.
I haven't, like, people who went on holiday and like, oh, I have to go on holiday because I haven't been on holiday in like so and so. I haven't left the country on holiday in like, after I finished my GCSEs, I went on a trip to Spain because, you know, it was a treat. And that was like 5 years ago nearly.
Yeah, but like, they didn't get their tan, so...
Okay, oh god, people just piss me off and like, oh, I have to go on holiday. Why? Why do you need to go on holiday? I get the people who miss their family, you know, I get that, but the people who are like, oh, I have to go to this house party, oh, I have to go on holiday. You don't have to. It's being a bit of a selfish dickhead. What do they do?
And the tanning booths are the struggle.
Throwing something.
Yeah, it's not that much of a time. It's simple.
People are just selfish, and they always will be. Selfishness is probably why this virus is so bad. It's bad because it spreads really quick, but it could have been a whole lot better if people weren't so fucking selfish.
Yeah, it could have, but you know, we didn't have it, so I don't know why we didn't, but we never, it's like I said, why is it that when you come back from Spain, you have self-isolated for 2 weeks, and then in Greece you didn't, even though like basically everywhere had COVID, it should have been mandatory everywhere.
It should have been. We should have just shut our borders completely. They've had a COVID case the other day now, but they haven't had it in months. Because they you know, they realised that, hang on a minute, we're a fucking island! We can stop people coming onto our fucking land!
Yeah, can't you even do that? Can you just do that? No.
Because there's a statistic that you shouldn't spread too much because, you know, like, people take it the wrong way. but you take this. I'm just saying this from London Ambulance perspective. There's been more calls and more cases in certain areas, big population areas, since we've been on lockdown than there was before we even went into when we were allowed to do it like we wanted to. Or we were in tier 3 basically.
Yeah.
The cases skyrocketed, and it is partly to do with the new variant of the virus, which spreads more easily. Like, that certainly is a factor. But it's not completely just because of that. It's because people are just ignoring the rules as much as they would if they were not in lockdown. And believe it or not, people actually go out more when it's on lockdown because they feel they want to be rebels. They want to ignore the government.
Or be hard men, you know.
They want to be hard men, and they just want to. They also just want to go, fuck you, I'm going out. And then versus when it's, you know, not illegal. You don't go out every single day. But when you can't, you suddenly want to.
That, yeah. I only do it because I have a dog. Yeah, and I think it also is because, you know, when you break the rules, if you get it, you probably don't want to get treated, and because they're like, well, how'd you get it? And you're like, well, actually, that's also just a bunch of fucking uni students recently who just throw parties and they invite their whole, like, flat, like, the whole building to them, and, like, uni students who are like, oh, Boris, like, how dare you, you're doing this and that. It's like, well, at the same time, like, if you want to have a party within your own, like, flatmates, that's fine, but when you invite other people from the other flat, that's not okay because then you're spreading it. I don't understand how that doesn't make any logic, because if a flat was to get, obviously, COVID, they can isolate that flat, you know? That's what they're supposed to be doing, but then other people just go, oh no, we'll just go to other flats, you know? And then these people go out to work, you know, and they can potentially spread it to their like, it's not rocket science, you know? Like, a uni experience doesn't have to be continuously partying every single day. And, and I'm sorry, but if you're complaining at the fact that you can't have a party, you know, because it's not part of the uni experience, do something better with your life. Like, I get that you want to hang out with people and party, but it's not a personality trait.
No.
Like, I miss going out. I didn't go to a lot of parties before, but I do miss parties, you know, but I can live without them. Everyone can live without them. Sorry, there's just a little rant there.
No, but I completely agree. And if there was less cunts in this world, we could have got back to a new form of normal a lot quicker.
Oh, we could have, but, you know, it's like I said, we can't have any good things in this world, you know?
No, you really can't.
Because, you know, people are just like, yeah, well, no, I have to. You don't have to. You're just a dickhead. Do you not understand? And, like, when I talk about these people who are throwing, like, parties in their flat, I've seen people throw these parties, and they're like, you cannot move. Like, they are like, you cannot fucking move in these things. So when I say this, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's like 10 people.
It's crammed.
Like, COVID's just like looking at it, like licking its lips, being like, oh yes, and none of them are wearing masks.
Why would they do that? COVID's not real.
I had someone in my workplace said that they didn't believe in COVID. They thought it was a conspiracy until they got COVID.
There's always mental people like that. And then it takes until a family member dies, or they get it themselves, and they go, oh fuck. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, they said they were respectful, but they said that they didn't think it was COVID. They thought it was like something else. So the government, like, it was just weird.
It's government conspiracy, and that's why, and the government's doing why they're spending billions and billions of pounds on a fake vaccine for a fake virus, and shutting their economy for fucking a year for a fake virus, and completely destroying tons of infrastructure and millions of people's lives, all because it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, I don't know if people understand how governments work, but they don't like spending more money than they have to. Why would they do this? And yes, there's the big thing of, oh, it's an excuse to put chips in our brain with the vaccine. Okay, well, if that was the whole goal, why wouldn't the vaccine... Oh, that's that's a new Facebook theory. That the vaccine contains chips to track us.
Your phone, maybe.
Oh yeah, no, there's just like people not realise that they already do that.
Anytime you use like your card, your credit card, maybe. Anytime you make a purchase with that.
There's a video I saw on YouTube. It's fucking hilarious.
No.
It's the three retards of COVID is what the video's called. It's really fucking funny.
I'm really looking it up.
It's a guy that I think I saw fucking. I haven't seen the actual sketch, but I saw what's his name? Is it Bill Burr? Is it Bill Burr? Bill Murr? The comedian,
Bill
the
Burr.
bald guy. That
Oh,
guy.
I love
he
him.
was talking about it, and he said it's fucking hilarious. He said if you can find it, you should watch it. Because it's basically, it's a person sitting in their front room and going, I'm really worried about COVID because I think it's going to kill me. It's really bad for my lungs. And then it shows them smoking a cigarette. And then it says, guys, coronavirus isn't real. It's all the stuff to do. They're going to put chips in the vaccine to track us. And it shows a woman who's on her laptop talking on her phone and talking to her Alexa. It says, guys, they're going to put listening chips in our brain while you're surrounded by 3 minutes.
Why can't I find the video? I can't find the video.
I'll see if I can find it, because I haven't actually watched it. That's what Bill Burr does, his comedy thing. And there's one more at the end. I always forget the way he delivers it, but it's basically people who say, guys, this virus isn't real, and I have proof. And they say the proof is that because everyone's actually dying from a different disease. And they, kind of what you said a second ago, they're covering something else up. And he then flashes up the statistics for Ebola, and then says that look they took this seriously and it barely killed anyone. And then it's just a photo of all of the hospitals in the world that have been built specifically for COVID. And then there was a person who created a chart, which was a pile of bodies, and it was all the people in the world who have died from COVID. In a pile. And it just goes up and up and up for like 5 minutes and just doesn't stop.
Oh my god.
And then it says that this has no end because it hasn't ended yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
It's making the point of just you're a fucking idiot.
Hostile counter-spy
If you think it's not real by this point, there's something wrong with your fucking brain.
Well, if you think about it, you still have anti-vaxxers. You still get people. You get people who still think that vaccinations cause autism.
Oh yeah, that's what happened to you, right?
Yeah, totally. Was diagnosed before he was vaccinated. Damn. Does that mean I can like sue the government then? Do they give me mental disability?
Totally.
But I hear that, and I just kind of like, there's no hope for this world. The fact that we live in this kind of generation, that you can have access to a political amount of information that yes, can be false, can be made up, whatever. But the fact that you still get people go, I'm looking at that shit, I could because like autism, or like the government's tracking us, but then they're making that post on Facebook using their phone. It's kind of like you're kind of focusing on the wrong thing, you know.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this is. I just can't believe there are people like this in this world. People still amaze me. I'm not for the good ways.
It's still retarded bullshit. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream for now.
Oh.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll stream again in 12,000 years. Goodbye.